Burnout. That exhaustion that never fades, that gnawing anxiety, that feeling like you're always teetering on the edge. Deep down you know it, you're worn out. Each day feels like another losing battle. You wake up, look at your to-do list, and already feel the weight of everything that hasn't even started yet. It's not just physical fatigue, it's like your mind is in pieces, like you're falling apart from the inside out. And society tells you to keep going. That success means exactly that. Pain, sacrifice, sleepless nights. But is it? Is success really about losing yourself in the process? How many times have you ignored the signs, that inner voice begging you for a break? How many times have you sacrificed everything, thinking that's the only way to get there? Maybe no one has told you this before, but there's a way out. And it's not a shortcut. It's a principle that few value. Discipline. Not that stifling discipline, made of relentless demands and rigid rules, but real discipline, a kind that sustains you, that creates a framework where you can rest without guilt and thrive without destroying yourself. Contrary to what you've been taught, this discipline doesn't bind you. It frees you from burnout. Discipline isn't a weight that traps you. It's the flexible foundation that enables real progress, the kind that truly liberates. Stop and think. How many times have you tried to carry the world on your shoulders without a real foundation to support you? Countless sleepless nights, endless days, all in the name of a routine that promised efficiency, but ultimately just left you more drained. We've been taught that discipline is rigid, made of unending demands and sacrifices. But maybe no one told you that real discipline isn't a prison. It's the base on which you can build your life without tearing yourself apart in the process. Discipline is that flexible structure that, far from suffocating, molds to give you stability. It doesn't demand perfection. It demands consistency. Imagine a solid bridge that lets you cross life's turbulence without collapsing. This is the structure that gives you strength to face each new day without getting lost in the endless demands that only drain your energy. Think about it. How often has a lack of control, boundaries, or a solid base made you feel like you're swimming against the current, out of breath? Discipline is what anchors you. It creates boundaries to protect your time, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Without these boundaries, everything encroaches, everything demands, and you end up getting lost in the chaos. And that's exactly where the path to burnout begins, when life turns into an uncontrolled whirlwind, without structure, without safety. Discipline is the key that transforms a life of sheer endurance into one of balance. And this begins with a choice. Setting boundaries that free you so that your energy doesn't scatter, ensuring that every step has a purpose. Because in the end, by saying no to what overwhelms you, you're saying yes to what helps you grow. With well-defined boundaries, you create room for what really matters, creativity and the true energy that propels your growth. If you feel like a machine, programmed to produce non-stop, with no rest or break, know this. That's the shortest path to total exhaustion. In a world that demands everything from everyone all the time, the word no has become an act of survival. Setting boundaries isn't a matter of choice. It's a matter of protecting your mind, your energy, your sanity. Have you noticed how, without boundaries, you end up spreading your energy across tasks that add nothing to you? How many times have you found yourself trapped in commitments that only drain your vitality, but that you just can't seem to refuse? We live in a rhythm that values total availability. But you have to ask yourself, who are you serving when you don't set boundaries? Without them, you become easy prey for exhaustion, letting the world consume you as you break apart bit by bit. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're portals that protect what really matters. Saying no to what drains you opens space for what strengthens you. Imagine your mind as a garden. Without clear limits, weeds take over, choking any chance to bloom. But when you set boundaries, you create space for creativity, for innovation, and for true growth. It's not about working more. It's about working with purpose, focusing on what helps you grow, not what drains you. So let me ask you, how often have you spent energy on tasks and people that only drain your time and strength? Maybe it's time to ask yourself what truly matters. Because by setting boundaries, you protect yourself from chaos, overload, and burnout, and you start on a path where each action has real value. And what comes after setting these boundaries? True renewal. Rest isn't optional. It's the natural cycle of sustainable productivity, where each break prepares you for the next step. Think about your daily life. Maybe you wake up, check your phone, and are immediately bombarded with emails, messages, demands. Before you even get out of bed, your mind is already racing, swallowed by a whirlwind of demands. Coffee meetings, deadlines. Every moment is filled with tasks, commitments, deliverables. And when finally the clock marks the end of the day, You feel like there's nothing left. But tomorrow, it all starts over. You wake up exhausted before you even begin. What if I told you that living like this isn't normal? That this insane routine, with no breaks, no space to breathe, is leading you straight to exhaustion? We were taught that stopping is a waste of time, that productivity means staying constantly active. But the truth is that nobody, absolutely nobody, can operate in an unbroken production cycle without paying the price. And that price is burnout. Persisting doesn't mean going to the last drop. Smart persistence is knowing that breaks are as essential as the effort. Imagine an athlete running non-stop with no rest, no breaks. He might reach the finish line, but he'll be wrecked, exhausted, with no energy for another race. Why would it be different for you? The discipline to take breaks is what keeps your energy for the long term. It's in rest that you recharge, allowing your mind and body to prepare for the next challenge. Ignoring this need is like trying to draw water from a dry well. Look at your routine. How often have you postponed that break? Ignored the moment to rest, thinking you were saving time. That time you think you're saving now is actually costing you later. When your body starts to call in the debt, when your mind can no longer bear the load. A break is the moment when creativity is reborn, when ideas connect, and the body fortifies to continue. Imagine yourself trapped in a routine that consumes your days, your nights, your peace. How many hours have you devoted to tasks that deep down lead you nowhere? Maybe you feel like a hamster on a wheel, running non-stop but going nowhere. It's draining, it's exhausting, and worse, it's empty. The truth is that without a purpose, without something bigger that justifies every step, life turns into a sequence of monotonous and heavy days. You wake up, work, wear yourself out, and in the end, for what? For whom? Burnout sneaks in exactly within this emptiness, in this meaningless routine, because the body can endure a lot. The mind, however, needs a reason, a why, something that makes the effort worthwhile. Every day, every task should be a step towards something that makes your heart beat faster. But can you name what that something is? When you align discipline with a clear purpose, you find direction, a real reason that transforms sacrifice into achievement. Discipline to say no to what doesn't matter, to concentrate on what truly matters, is what defines who makes it to the end and who gets lost along the way. Purpose is what makes you get up, even on difficult days. Without it, every minute of effort is just another drop in the bucket of exhaustion. So let me ask you, do you know where you want to go? Does each task in your day bring you closer to that destination, or does it push you further from yourself? Because pushing forward without purpose isn't bravery, it's wastefulness. When discipline connects with a clear purpose, it stops being a burden and becomes a force that moves you forward without consuming or breaking you. Pursuing a purpose requires resilience, the capacity to adjust your pace, respect your limits, and protect your journey against exhaustion. Now think about what it really means to grow. Growth isn't just about trying harder, working more, or doing more. True growth requires resilience, the ability to recognize your limits, to understand how far you can go without breaking. How many times have you pushed yourself beyond what you should, thinking you needed to prove something, maybe to others, maybe to yourself? And in the end, at what cost? We're sold the idea that success is never stopping, pushing your limits every day. But the truth is that this mindset is destroying us, leading more and more people to collapse. Resilience isn't about persisting until you fall apart. Resilience is knowing when to stop, knowing that each pause is an opportunity to renew. It's having the courage to adjust your pace, to respect your body and mind. Only those truly resilient understand that the path to sustainable growth isn't a straight, unbroken line. It requires breaks, adjustments, and a deep respect for oneself. Look at your routine. Can you recognize when you need to slow down? Or do you only stop when your body finally gives up? Because without this resilience, without this capacity to listen to the signs, your path is doomed to be short. Discipline is what builds your path, but it's resilience that allows you to walk it, to protect yourself from burnout, to sustain your energy, to keep going. So, stop and ask yourself, are you racing toward real growth, or are you just accelerating toward collapse? Because those who grow truly know when to pause, when to respect their own pace. Resilience is what keeps your strength intact. It's what sustains your progress without destroying you along the way. When you learn to listen to these signs, to discipline your resilience, true prosperity becomes possible. A prosperity that doesn't exhaust, but strengthens and sustains. We've reached the core point. If you're still here, it's because something in you recognizes the truth in all of this. You know deep down that the frantic and uncontrollable pace we're used to isn't sustainable. Burning your own energy, destroying your mental health, drowning in tasks without purpose. None of this is prosperity. True prosperity is when you live in balance, when each step strengthens you, when discipline is the support that preserves your well-being. True discipline isn't oppressive, it's liberating. When you apply it consciously and with purpose, it protects you from burnout, guides your steps with clarity, and sustains your growth continuously. Every boundary you set, every break you allow yourself, every no you choose to say, all of it is a declaration of respect for yourself. You're not here to lose yourself in a routine that only drains you. You're here to build a path that has meaning, that preserves your energy, that allows you to thrive without having to sacrifice yourself in the process. Now look at your life. Look at your routine. Ask yourself, how can I transform my discipline into a solid foundation that sustains me, that protects me from this cycle of exhaustion? Because when you understand that discipline is the key to a life where progress doesn't mean self-destruction, the path to true prosperity stops being a distant ideal and becomes a daily choice. If this video resonated with you, if something here touched you, leave a comment. Share your views, your challenges. Every conscious choice we make, even if it seems small, is a choice for a life of real freedom. Let's create a space together where growth doesn't cost us our health, but is the basis of a stronger, lighter, and more authentic life.